right, and we are back. And tonight we have the NLC Super Heavyweight Kickboxing Champion, Justin Comikal Richwine.
The man is back.
Yo, what's up?
How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, sitting here in the studio. Went, had a gym session, showered, grabbed a bite to eat. Now I'm in the lobby of the studio because we got a session tonight for a jazz band. So you might hear some cool music in the background.
You're a man of many talents. You know, not only are you a combat sports champion, one of the best fighters we've seen at New Line, you're in the music business. Tell the people a little bit about it. We got to see a little tour of the studio before we started. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. So I finishing my degree for audio engineering. I had a diploma while I was in the Army. And then I've been doing music since I was 12. Writing, producing, creating music, played saxophone from 6th grade to 12th grade, not a band geek. I played sports and stuff, but I was like, hell, I like music, so I'm going to play the saxophone. Finishing that, I am actually an apprentice engineer learning from Phil McAfee, longtime legend in the audio engineering world. He owns Cybertechnics here in Dayton, Ohio, and I'm becoming like his number 2 guy. So, we got analog, we got all the good stuff. And his this console is an Electrodyne, and it's actually the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame wants this exact console because it's recorded greats like Aretha Franklin and stuff like. So it's pretty crazy. I can kind of give a little quick view, real quick, for the viewers out there. Like, there's the sound room. I'm in the lobby. We got the live room in there. They're in there jamming. So,
and you do typically what type of music?
You'd really be surprised. I'm into everything. Now, me as an artist, I like hip hop and kind of like a hip hop punk sound. Tech Nine's one of my favorite artists. But you'd really be surprised. I'm producing a guy right now. His name's Eden. He can sing like Sam Smith. Like, I'd put him side by side. Dude's awesome. So I'm producing his album. I done music for a stomach cancer documentary. Like, one of the instructors at the school, big time television personnel, was like, hey, can you do this? And I was like, sure. So I did it, and it ended up in a documentary. So that was pretty cool. And then, like I said, tonight is a jazz band, so we got a bass guitar, a drum, an organ, and electric guitar in there, and we're doing some blues songs tonight.
So tell me, how difficult is it to balance all these aspects of your life? You're doing so much. You got music, you got training, you got fighting, and you got your family and your kids.
Yeah. It's a juggling act, man, but I always say that time management is my friend. Not to mention, my family, my wife supports me with all this stuff, just like I support her with her dreams and what she wants to do. But time management, we got a day. I'm going to maximize every hour of that day. And don't get me wrong, there's days where I ain't got much to do, so I chill and maximize that too. So time management is a very good key to have in life.
So now, coming up March 9th, we got less than 2 weeks. We got the fight that almost happened a year ago. It's finally going down for the boxing title. You versus Jeramy Karshner. No title?
No title.
No.
Well, that's sad.
just the main event heavyweight boxing match.
Well, it's the fight that we wanted to see a long time ago.
It is the fight we've all wanted to see, though.
Jeramy Karshner versus Justin Richwine. Talk us through it.
Yeah, we kind of had that set up for October, I believe.
Yeah, August, yeah.
I don't know. It was actually August.
Yeah.
It was my son's birthday, so I had to work all that out. And I understand injuries happen, things happen. And it's nothing but respect and things. I give him his kudos. I give him he's the champ. We're gonna go out there, and you're gonna see 2 guys that like to throw, that ain't afraid to throw. You guys know that. You've seen plenty of both he and I in and outside of the cage and the ring. So I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be one of those ones again where you got to really watch the technique. I would say.
I think it's a really interesting stylistic matchup between the two of you. You're a journeyman, you've been around a long time, and I'd say you've seen quite a bit of Karshner's work. How do you see your styles playing against each other?
I mean, I don't know. It's like we are kind of two different styles. If you look at our full body of work, I know every time I say this, you're not the same fighter you were last time. We just watched him go to a decision, which I guess is a first in his career with boxing, so, I'm like, hey, the guy's improving if you can do that. And, he was big strikes, heavy handed. And it's to where I've kind of moved towards more technical moving, kind of picking what I'm choosing. I'm not really trying to waste shots. So it's a good matchup. It's like, it's the arts of it all. It's a song and a dance. And we're going to see who's dancing, and try to counter each move, each dance move.
So it's going to be a 6-round fight. Jeramy has been 6 rounds before. I believe this is your first 6-rounder, which I figure you may like this better. I mean, you don't always get in a hurry. You get out there and you take your time and you box. And, it's the sweet science, the beautiful sport. You get out there and you do your thing.
Yeah.
Now you've got more. You don't have to rush. So do you feel like this is going to play more into your favor with it being a longer fight?
I don't know whose favor it goes in. I don't mind it. I do feel like I'm definitely a guy that gets stronger as the fight goes. Not saying I get faster, but I get stronger. Like I can see things and move and still kind of keep a particular pace. So I don't really get flat-footed and lazy even in late rounds. I'm still trying to be crisp. I just might be getting slower. So yeah, it's fine with me. I guess it could play in my favor. It's a fight, so you never really know. Here's one thing that I always try to keep in my mind. I have the amount of time that each round takes, right? So I have all 6 rounds to do what I have to do. Not that I'm going to take any off. It's just, right, you got to figure what's working and see things. And that's kind of the whole purpose of why fights get longer. You get more rounds is because it's a chess match. You do one thing, he does another. Next round, it's completely different. So I'm cool with it. I'm excited and looking forward to kind of getting the extra time.
Well, I think that's one thing I noticed in your fight with Alex Davis. You used those later rounds. You kind of you waited for those moments for him to fade. Then you turned it up. Like I still remember that. I think it was a 3 or 4 punch combination you landed at the beginning of I think the third. Oh my God! Like it was a masterful performance, and you're a true technician. That's why I'm really looking forward to this fight because you've got 2 guys that have been around a long time and 2 polar opposites in style.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Like I said, I feel like I do get a little stronger. Not faster, but stronger. I see things, and I don't mind being in there and using up all the time. It's like a test, right? You go in there and you're like, I want to ace this test. But if you go in there and you try to rush through it and just mark A, B, C, D and just go, are you going to ace the test? No. If they say you have an hour to do this and you're going to go in there and rush. No, you're going to go in there and you're going to take your time and use up all the time you have if you need to.
And it's strange, most fighters, I think, especially on the amateur level, guys you see just starting out, they look at it like it's a sprint. It's a 40-yard dash. Really, it's a marathon. Guys like you who've been there and done that so many times, you see that. You see that time is your friend, not your enemy.
Yeah, definitely. Not father time, though. I'll say that.
So you and Jeramy have both been coming up on the scene in Ohio, probably around the same time, close in age. I know you guys almost fought for us last August, but how long have you had your eyes on Jeramy, and has this fight ever almost happened in the past?
No, I'll be honest. I've never been offered a fight with him. We might have been on the same kind of circuit coming up and doing things, but I think we were both making different moves. whether he was transitioning into boxing or I was still doing more MMA, and now I'm transitioning more into kickboxing and boxing. So I never been offered a fight, and that's just me being honest. I think I've turned down maybe 2 fights, and it's never been about opponent. It's always been about timing and other things that were more important at the moment. So I've never been offered, and like I said, you guys know, I don't trash talk. I don't really go looking for people and try to call people out. So it's kind of one of those things where if I do what I'm supposed to do and these opponents are doing what they're supposed to do, then we will probably end up meeting each other at some. So, and then you guys brought me back in, got me in the boxing ring again, made me put some boxing shoes on. So I was like, all right. And then that's really when it started to go, you and Karshner. And I was like, hey, if that's what you guys want to see, then I'm always game for it. It's just I'm a showman. I'm there because I like to do this stuff. I have nothing to prove to nobody else.
Between you and Karshner, you've beat the who's who of NLC heavyweight. Everything. So boxing, kickboxing. So I mean, you guys, you're at the top of the mountain on the kickboxing. He's at the top on the boxing, and so it's like something I've been wanting to see, and all we might see it again here soon. In kickboxing, you're both going to be entered into our tournament, and and that's and all. But I mean, before I even brought up the tournament, he did tell me that he's coming for that kickboxing title in the future anyway. So he said you guys can box, and then he'll do it again in kickboxing if that's what you want to do.
Hey, but, I'm game. I'm game. Like I said, I have no. I do this because I love to do it. So boxing, I am boxing and kickboxing is kind of my forte. Mm-hmm. So of course I'm gonna go into my wheelhouse and we'll have fun. Like I don't care to get hit. I'm not afraid to get hit. I won't want to, try to avoid it. But it's a fight. So I'm in there to showcase the skill and have some fun and hear the boos and the screams and get cussed at by people. This last fight, that was fun.
You were fighting a hometown guy. It was raw, and my God, you got cussed out a little bit that night.
We all got cussed out.
Hey, I'm just, I got called the B word. Like I heard it in the crowd. Richwine's a B. I'm like, dang, okay. I can't really be mad. You said it within earshot of me, so I'm like, all right, kudos. But I always try to conduct myself in more of a professional way. Nothing against anybody, right? It was emotions when you're fighting. So I can understand, but it's the crowd.
You see it all the time with decisions that are really close. We've been to all cards, and like people get so mad at the fighter like they have any control over it. Like usually it typically the ones I've seen that are the worst, it ends up being the nicest dudes like you that get cussed out. You or Eli
Rick Randolph when he beat Gary Rowland in Huntington in a close decision. That was crazy. That was probably worse than that may have been worse than Justin and Tim.
I remember Rick. Rick's one of the nicest guys in the world. He's always getting involved with the kids and the crowd and stuff. He straight up was ready to fight everybody in that crowd after
I was good. I just kind of threw my hands up like, really? Like, okay, I understand it. And
they were mad at me after your fight too. They asked me why did Justin leave with the belt? Like, because he came with the belt. He's the champion. you gotta beat him. You gotta beat him to take the belt. So
and it was a close fight. It was a good fight. It was. I said it before the fight. Like, it's gonna be hard to calculate what you're watching. It was really tough. Little combinations with heavy strikes, teeps, little things were just going everywhere.
And we all know, too, these judges don't really know what they're watching. You see a high-level fight like that, there's so many subtleties. It's hard. It's hard for even somebody, with as much experience as you or I to judge a fight like that, because you talk to everybody else. Everybody's got a different opinion on that fight.
How many judges out there don't score jabs at all? Like jabs, like it's literally like nothing happened.
Oh, I've heard judges say they don't score low kicks in MMA, which is bananas.
Yeah. It's like those are fundamental things too. Like you would think a good solid jab keeping somebody off of you and busting their face up the whole fight would definitely be like, hey, you're winning. Yeah. It's like jousting.
Have won titles with the jab. You look at GSP when he beat Koscheck. He won that fight with the jab over and over all night.
I believe he did some with those little gloves. You could do damage with a jab, though.
Oh yeah.
Who was it? Kenny Florian against I can't remember now. I don't know if it was Sean Shark or who. Kenny Florian fought somebody and used that jab and absolutely demolished somebody with a jab.
People forget how good Kenny was. Kenny Florian.
I mean, he destroyed. I mean, some dude was beat all to hell, cuts, eyes closed shut, broken nose, blood. One of the bloodiest fights. Kenny, I don't know if he threw his right hand. It was just jab, 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 jab. And they were talking, Kenny had the best jab in MMA. And I believe he retired right after that. But he had been really working on his boxing. Didn't Kenny go to Pacquiao's coach?
Freddie Roach.
Yeah, didn't Kenny work with him for toward the end of his career?
I know he's worked
BJ Penn did.
He worked with GSP, and when GSP won that title against Bisping, Freddie Roach was in the corner and called for that left hook right before the round that he dropped him with the left hook. Freddie Roach was calling for it.
Yeah, Kenny was. I'm thinking it was Freddie, but it might have been. It was one of the big names. Kenny was working with him. They said he was a natural, and
it's interesting we talk about that because you see these MMA guys going into boxing, and here we have you, Justin, stepping into boxing. And I wanted to ask you, what do you enjoy about boxing, compared to MMA and kickboxing?
Like I said, to go in there, fight in any way, it's all a strategic thing. So your mind is occupied. MMA, it's everything. Kickboxing, a little less. In boxing, it's hands, but it's hands and feet, too. What a lot of people don't realize, where you're putting your feet and how you're moving. It's simplified. It's like the oldest combat sport in the world, one dude punching another dude, one dude evading another dude's punch, simple, right? Cavemen did it. So it's just the pureness of it. I don't have to overthink anything. You can clinch if you get in trouble. There's so many different things that you got to recognize, but not, as compared to the other sports.
And so do you see yourself continuing this boxing career, or are you going to jump back into MMA and focus on one thing, or just keep doing a little bit of everything?
I don't really know. I just kind of take it one day, one fight at a time. I don't like to plan too much ahead. Kind of one of the reasons I got offered something before this. Talked with Keith and said, never mind. I'm focused, and when I say I'm doing something, I'm sticking to it. So I don't know right now. I'm doing this music stuff. Kind of start my own record company.
It's exciting.
So my own record label. So I got a lot of good things that's going on in life, and I got a lot of people that care about me, and care about myself too. So I want to enjoy the stuff in life. So my future isn't going to be super long. It's starting to narrow down a bit. So I want to retire after this fight, but I'm going to weigh options and maybe have a finale in this next year and see what happens. So.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are afraid to actually go after the things that they enjoy in life and to follow their dreams. You're living proof that you can do the things you love, like your music, combat sports. That's what you've got your whole life focused around. So maybe talk a little bit about that before we go.
I just enjoy life. I've experienced so many things, right? With my 3 combat tours, been around this world multiple times. I've endured and entertained and experienced other cultures, foods, now I want to do that with the people I love, and watch my kids grow and help develop them into the fine young men and women they are being. And, it's just a lot to juggle. And I don't know, man, I'm really happy and just enjoying life one moment at a time. I'm not really trying to be like, this is what's going to happen, 20 minutes from now. I'm going to say maybe this is what I'm going to try to do in 20 minutes, but I'm going to be flexible with things. And that's really it. I'm just kind of having fun here.
Beat that.
That makes me happy. Like that seems, you seem like always when I'm around you, when I see you at events, you seem like a genuinely happy guy. You're just enjoying life. And that's one thing I admire about you. That's not so easy for some people. Some people have a tough.
Yeah, look at me.
Life can be tough, everybody has a story, I'm not gonna devil into mine. You guys know I've experienced combats and other things, in life, that everybody has something they gotta overcome and experience, and kind of shapes them into who they are. Relationships develop, and it's just like so many things that people are just kind of don't pay attention to, or kind of take for granted. And you should always be awakening yourself to those things around you that you might be taking for granted. Family, loved ones, everything, life in itself. So that's what I'm really trying to do with my life and my music, career going, and getting the right connections, and the food truck with my wife, and just sharing good times with them is what really it's all about.
Tell us about this food truck. That's interesting.
Yeah. So my father-in-law started a food truck called Freddy's Franks and Burgers about 13 years ago. My wife has kind of helped him along the way as he was, starting it up and getting bigger and doing events. And then they retired. My mother and father-in-law retired last year. And so my wife's like, well, hey, I'll take it over. And, we were kind of making changes in life, past, taking those risks to try to do the things that we love. It was that moment. It was that, hey, let's grasp this moment and take this shot and go do the things we want to do. So we're not working a job that we don't really want to go to. We're taking care of the things we need to take care of, and we're making our own schedules and time. So we kind of just jumped in both feet and just supported each other. So now we are taking over and running the truck, and we kind of finished the season last year, and we're getting ready to actually get it started up in a couple weeks. It's our first little event. So, getting everything ready, cleaning it, supplies, it takes a lot of work. So you got somebody on your side that helps you with that kind of things, a partner, a friend, then you guys help each other, and you just can make all kinds of stuff happen.
So tell the people, for people who are in your area, where you guys going to be at. You got any, what cities do you travel to?
So we're in the Dayton area. So we're in Springfield, Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, the surrounding areas. We're opening our season on St. Patrick's Day at Mother Stewart's Brewery in Springfield. And then we're followed on Facebook, Freddy's Franks and Burgers. We always kind of post where we're going to be at. So we do food truck rallies. Sometimes we just randomly set up somewhere for lunch. Like, hey, surprise, we're here right now. So
when are we going to get Freddy's Franks and Burgers at an NLC event?
Hey,
I want to know.
Hey, I've been telling Keith, come up here and put on a show. I promise it'll be awesome. Like, this area, Ohio itself, is an MMA hotbed. But, some people can't travel up north. Some people can't go to there. But southeast, you come up here, you'll have fun. You get to eat some good food.
We've been talking about Cincinnati area, something like that. Keith's not too far from there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been looking at a few spots. Cincinnati, Portsmouth, definitely a few of the spots closer to Huntington as well.
What about that event we're planning at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland? Is that going to happen?
I don't know. That might be. I might have to push it back to next year.
One day I might have some ceremony going on there.
When you get inducted, you got to get us in there.
Hey, all right, deal.
I think that's it for me, though, my friend. This is a fight that I'm very, very excited about, which I say that about every one of your fights because I'm a big fan. You and Karshner both are guys I really admire in the sport, and I think that can be said for a lot of young fighters at NLC. So this is the clash of the titans here.
Absolutely. Yeah. People pay attention to this man. He's got a lot of fights coming up. The boxing match, the kickboxing tournament. He's got a trading card coming out. He's got music coming out.
Yeah.
Food truck. There's a lot going on.
Where can you listen to your music? That's a big thing. I'm
getting, I'm getting all the legalities of everything. I got to make sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. It can be a scandalous game, but there are some sample songs up on SoundCloud right now. If you look up Comikal, you'll see some artwork of it looks like an ear, but that's all I'll say. It looks like an ear with stuff coming out of it, and pay attention to all the little things coming out of it. It's kind of cool. My guy I'm producing actually did it for me, and it has a lot of hidden meanings in it. So you can go on there and hear some stuff of his too, and a few little samples. We're looking to kind of get stuff wrapped up probably into spring, beginning of summer. So then we'll move it on to bigger platforms, Spotify, and a couple other things are in the work that I legally can't really talk about right now. Moving in the shadows a little bit right now.
Well, I'm
Show us that
excited.
ankle bracelet.
I can't wait to listen. I'm definitely going to be following everything you're doing. Like I say, I'm a fan of Mr. Richwine. We're going to be seeing you soon, March 9th in Cagefighting, Kentucky.
Yep.
I'll see you guys
2 weeks away. Mr. Comikal. Comikal.
That's right.
When you look them up, March 9th, Catlettsburg, Kentucky. Pay-per-view is going to be on YouTube. You can check that out on our YouTube page. You got to become a member. You got 2 membership options: the early access and the live pay-per-view level. You need the live pay-per-view level to see this one. All right, Justin, thanks for coming on, man. Always good to have you.
All right, Keith. All right, Elijah. I'll see you guys in a few weeks, and look forward to coming down there and signing some stickers too. I'm excited.
Yep.
The trading cards are coming out. I know if you're saying anything yet, but they're coming. I'm excited for it. So be on the lookout, everybody, for those.